Today we are going to start with a morning routine. I love this morning routine as I get older and older, just moving the components of my body to help with digestion, energy, and just movement throughout the day. So go ahead and start on your back. We do need 2 blocks before we get started, or 2 books, something that is about that size. So when you lie on your back, all of the same things work. You can do constructive rest pose, or just lying flat in your corpse pose, drawing your shoulder heads towards the floor, hips up, tailbone towards your heels, lengthening that lower back, and then close your eyes. And just take a moment here to make this space your own. Start to feel the body become heavy, and take notice of your breath. If it is in the morning, most likely your breath is going to be a little bit shallow. And then on your next exhale, pull your belly into the spine and breathe all of the breath out, followed up by a big deep breath in. Lips together. Breathe in and out through your nose, working into your ujjayi breath, ujjayi. Small hole at the base of the throat, drawing the breath in through the nose. Slight pause, exhale out through that small hole at the base of the throat, out of the nose. Pause, and start the cycle all over again. Yoga is the union of body and breath. So finding this breath, evening it out, smoothing it out, this is half of the work that you do on your mat. Once you've found a good rhythm, stick with it, and then softly blink your eyes open. And then gently bring your knees into constructive rest pose, so feet on the floor. And then you're going to bring your right leg into half happy baby. So first bring that knee into the chest and kind of wiggle it around. Depends on how early you get up in the morning. This might take a little bit longer on some days. And then you're going to come into half happy baby, drawing your heel over the knee-ish, but use your booty to rotate that knee out. Most likely, you reaching your foot this in the morning is not going to happen, so you're just going to cradle that hamstring and draw it in. And take a couple breaths here. It doesn't have to be super deep in the hamstring or in the glutes. Just nice, loving stretch. And then gently draw it in, come back, place it down. Second side, squeeze that left knee in, move it around, give it a little bit of love. And then again, half happy baby, drawing that heel over the knee, using your glutes to rotate that knee out, half happy baby. Good, and slowly release that leg. Bring both knees into the chest. And then you're going to take a few rocks. Gently tucking your chin into the chest. And then you're going to roll yourself all the way up and over. Whatever that looks like for you. Crossing over the legs. Coming into a tabletop. So hands are wider than your shoulders. Fingers spread apart. And then wrapping those biceps forward. On the inhale, drop your belly down, pull the heart through, fill up the lungs. As you exhale, press into the hands and feet, round in the spine, draw your chin all the way to the chest. Again, inhale. Exhale. So taking a few rounds here, depending on what you did the day before, just Stay here as long as you want, as long as you need. Kind of shake off the bed, okay? And then when you're ready, lift the lower belly, and then you're going to flip your toes and take it to your first downward dog. So again, morning, walk it out, pedal it out. If you're stiff, go nice and slow. If it's cold, go even slower. Eventually working into your downward facing dog. Knees are bent, hips up and back, and those front ribs in so the spine is nice and long. And then reconnect with the breath. In and out through the nose. And slowly pedal yourself to the top of the mat. You can rock the hips side to side. Eventually ending in a forward fold. We'll keep the feet hips width to start. And then come up halfway, thumbs on top of the thigh bones. You're going to push those thigh bones back. Try to lengthen your torso, and then again, lay on top of the legs. Weight forward in the feet, and then cradle your elbows. And if you want to stay here just hanging, shaking the head yes and no, great option. Or you can start to sway side to side, releasing that lower back and the hamstrings. And release the hands down. On an inhale, come halfway up, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Heel toe your feet together. And then inhale, come all the way up. Hands to center. Coming into Tadasana, hands out wide, shoulders down the back. Think about spreading through your toes, getting your foot nice and wide, and then grounding down into them and try to turn them out slightly. Powers up the legs, belly pulls in, tailbone towards your heels, and then the arms out to the side. So this is our template pose. This effort and ease is in everything that we do. Maybe close your eyes here and feel the energy going in all directions. Reconnecting with that breath. And then blink the eyes open. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway up, long spine. Forward fold. All the way to the top. Inhale. Hands to center. Adding on a bit. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Halfway up, long spine. Stepping it right into plank pose. Same things with your hands. Spread through the fingers, press into the palms. Lower belly lifts, thighs lift. Take an inhale there. As you exhale, shift forward, shoulder heads lift away from the floor. Lower all the way down. Hands under your shoulders, squeeze the elbows. Inhale, little baby back bend. Bring it all the way back down. Downward facing dog. 3 solid rounds of breath. Strong downward facing dog. Gaze in between your big toes. And then go ahead and look forward, step, or if you want to hop, you're going to spring back, take a couple hops, eventually ending in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale and fold. All the way to the top. Hands to center. Going into chair pose. Press into the feet. Draw your tailbone towards your heels. Lift your heart up. So from here, think about your feet. Again, rooting down, trying to turn out, and then trying to pull them apart. Let your outer hips really engage. Breathe. Lifting that lower belly in, front ribs in. 2 more breaths. Reaching through the fingers just as much as you're pressing into the feet. With an exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Go through your vinyasa. Back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, all the way to the mat. Little back bend. Downward facing dog. So in your downward dog, go ahead and bring your blocks closer, and then we'll meet back in dog pose. Take a couple breaths here. And then on an inhale, bring that left foot in, lift the right leg up, bend your knee and open up the hip. Just moving it around, saying good morning to that hip flexor. And then as you exhale, bring the knee to the outside of that right elbow and then step the foot out. So if you step it here, you're going to grab that foot and bring it out. Okay? Drop the back knee down for now. And then we're going to adjust here. So we want to make sure that the knee is closer to us than the ankle. And this kneecap is going to dictate where our second and third toe are in direction. So if my toes are out to here, my knee's not in a very safe position. So I want to make sure it's going the same direction as my second and third toe. So taking my blocks, if I need them, I can take them tall, I can take them low, whatever works. But then you're going to use your right booty to push your knee open. So think bottom of a squat. From there, you can add more work, lifting that back leg. You can come down onto your forearms, but that knee is still pushing open. And instead of hanging down with my hips, so I'm getting like this really tight stretch, which isn't good, I'm going to firm my outer left hip to find stability as I stretch. Try to lengthen your torso. And with every exhale, try to soften. And then slowly come back up. Move the blocks. And then we're going to take it into a vinyasa. So let's move those blocks just a little bit more. So pressing into the hands, lifting the heart up through the back. Heel toe that foot back to center. Step it back. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Downward facing dog. And then once you're in your dog pose, take a moment to notice the right side versus the left. Maybe even close the eyes. Feel the warmth. And then feel the energy, kind of running through it in all different directions. All right, on the inhale, bring your right foot in. Lift your left leg. Bend your knee, open up the hips, circle it around. And then use your exhale. Bring that knee outside of the elbow. Step it down. Drop the back knee. Knee is closer to you than your heel. Your ankle. And then use that booty to push it out. Take the blocks, place them wherever works for you. If you want them high, you can be low, whatever you choose, but try to stick with it, okay? And then allow yourself to challenge yourself, and maybe even coming down onto the blocks. So I'll let you see it from this side. So if I'm lazy and I start to do this thing, I'm getting a really good stretch, but I'm not getting a very safe or thorough stretch. So firming those outer hips, lifting that back thigh up, and getting a nice, strong stretch. And then maybe drawing the shoulders out of the ears, lengthening that spine. Gently come back up, placing the blocks somewhere where I'm not gonna lick them when I come down. Heel to toe, plank pose, inhale, exhale, lower down. Little baby back bend. Open up the lungs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice and steady dog. So depending on where you are in your practice, if you want to, this would be a great place to just take a child's pose. Breathe into the back body. And then notice both hips. The energy running through them, the heat, the warmth, whatever you want to call it. If you don't have time for that in your morning practice, that's okay. Stick with your dog pose. And then we're going to work our way through to sit. So whatever works for you, you can hop a couple hops and then work your way onto your bottom. Jump all the way through to sit, or just crawl around and lay down. So before we go into our back bends, we're going to do a bridge strengthening workout. And this is awesome. This is what all of us need if we have lower back pain, if we sit at a desk, or if we don't work out regularly. So you're going to slowly lower down. Get yourself set up for a bridge, but we're not going to go into it quite yet. So we're going to hold for 30 seconds when we get up there. Ish. Get your feet nice and wide. Ground down into them. Try to drag them back. Let your hamstrings and glutes get really strong and then lift you up. Okay? I'm not going to let my shoulders go underneath me. Right now I'm just doing a strengthening pose. So my knees, hips, and shoulders should all be in a line. Okay? My knees start to go out. I want to firm my outer hips and push into my inner foot. Elbows into the mat. Hands are kind of pretending like they're pressing into a block and reaching it up. And then you're just going to hold. So what we're doing is we're strengthening the outer glute medius. And since we don't do a lot of squats in our everyday activities, all of these muscles are becoming really weak, and we're not able to support our backs as well as we used to. So making sure that these are nice and strong so that when we do go into our back bends, we go into them safely and we have a big support system. Good. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then when you exhale, slowly lower down. Feet wide. You can gently windshield wiper the knees side to side. So now that we have a good strong foundation, we're going to open up the chest and get into the back bend part. As I said before, back bends give us energy, kind of allow us to get out of our shell, kind of experience a little bit more vibrations, if you will. So I love them because I love sharing my energy and kind of throwing it everywhere. So back bends are one of my favorites. So same thing, root down into the feet, try to drag them back, let all this work, and then lift those hips up. You can grab the mat and pull it apart as you roll the shoulders, or you can interlace the hands. And then again, strengthen those legs. Nice strong foundation, and then start to open up the chest. Just like in our twists, our back bends labor our breath a bit. So work with it. Try to even it out, even though it's not as straightforward as a Tadasana. And then as you're ready, release the hands. Use your exhale to slowly lower down. And then you can windshield wiper the knees. Not being in a rush, making sure to give the lower back some time. We'll hold a neutral spine. I like to take this time, one hand on my belly, one hand on my heart, and just allow that ujjayi to come back. And then working our way into a twist. We will lift the hips up, take them to the left, knees to the right, arms out wide. On the inhale, lengthening the spine. As you exhale, softly twist. So if you need more of a twist, you're going to make sure that the spine is more in a line on your mat, going in one straight line. If you need less of a twist, you can take it off to the side a little bit. That feels better to you. But if there's ever any pulling in the lower back, know that that's not what you're looking for. And then slowly come back to center, lifting the hips up, over to the right, knees to the left. Inhale, exhale, twist. All right, gently. Navel to the spine, back to center. Coming into our full happy baby pose. So think a bottom of the squat. And if you have a strap or a something to hold your feet, you can. Or you can just hold your hamstrings, drawing the feet, or the legs in. You maybe open up enough and you can start to grab the feet. Think about the feet trying to push the sky away, and you're trying to reel them back in. And those booty muscles are turning those knees out. And then slowly bring your feet in, release knees together. And then work your way into your final resting pose, flopping the feet open. And then taking however long that you want to in your Shavasana. When you are done, go ahead and roll yourself up. Sit tall. Take a moment to give yourself gratitude for being on this mat and finding a morning routine that suits not only you but your health. Namaste.